What's going on, guys? This is Kai Beam with the Kai Beam podcast. Thank you for coming back and listening to episode 5. With me, I have today Gamdo, as usual, but we also have a drop-in co-host actually, because he comes by when he has the time. And he had the time today. We have Widdy with us. Thank you for being here, man. And
Hello.
yeah, it's all fun to be had here. So, we have quite a bit of topics today. Some of the things we wanted to talk about in other episodes too, but we just never got the chance to get to them. So, I want to start off with this family dysfunction talk because I've been wanting to talk about stuff like this since the beginning, just because of things that I've seen personally and things that have affected me and just my mom too. And it's just this whole family dynamic thing that's been going on. I'm not going to go into specific details in terms of names or anything like that. But I just want to have a broad conversation about just family dynamic and touch on narcissism and stuff like that. So I'll just give an example really quickly of what I mean by this. So me and my mom moved out here. We originally lived in Washington, and we moved out here to the East Coast in Boston. And I hate it here, by the way. I hate the East Coast. Not a fan of it. But we moved out here to kind of lay low, get our bearings, things like that, with my great grandma and grandma. And there's just a lot of moving factors, things that I wasn't very I didn't know about. I'll just say it like that, until my mom made things aware to me. Because me and her are kind of like the black sheep of the family. But needless to say, my mom needed a break from staying here, so last weekend I took her to the airport, and she's in California with her boyfriend actually. So I thought it was a good move just to get a break. But the day I was taking her there, she told me she felt bad, and I was like, why? Well, come to find out, for one, my grandma was giving her the cold shoulder and wasn't talking to her that much, and it was really just all a ploy to kind of make her feel bad about leaving. But I was just like, you shouldn't, because by the end, for one, you're gonna forget about it, and two, everyone needs a break just from things that are going on. And like I said before, narcissism is a real thing. A lot of my family members, whether they know it or not, I just from the outside looking in, they're plagued by this. And the thing is, they don't want to get help with it. So the only necessary course of action is to distance yourself, right? So with that in mind, I just wanted to tell anyone out there that, if you think that you have to be loyal to family, whether or not that, because they're blood or whatever like that, you really don't. It's all about your peace. You have to look out for you and your best interest and your health and your mental health and everything like that. Because I actually wanted to point out, so there's this quote that gets thrown around a lot, right? Blood is thicker than water. And that quote is misquoted a lot, actually. Because the original quote is, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, meaning the family that you choose is stronger than the one that you're born in. These guys I'm potting with right now, I actually think of them as brothers, bro. Just based off of relationships I've built and the people I surround myself with, I just feel comfortable around them. It's when I'm with my actual family, sometimes I find it hard to let my guard down, because there's always things that they've done to me or I've seen them do that I just can't ever feel fully comfortable. So I say all that to say, work on like your piece. Like it's harder to do than it is to say, but work on just trying to find your peace and know that it's not going to be easy, and it's probably gonna hurt a little bit to distance yourself, but at the end of the day, it's for your sanity, right? So that's all I had to say on that. I don't know if anyone else has anything to like add or I said your name, my shit. Gamdo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I had to bleep that out.
Yeah. You can bleep that out. But Gamdo, if you had anything to add or anything like that.
Well, I think all of us have seen or witnessed stuff like that, and it's sort of serious matter. But how I always treat serious matters is I joke about it a lot. So, yeah, no, I honestly I've had to deal with dysfunctional families myself. We kind of started off on a serious note. I thought we were gonna start off with Cudi at first.
Yeah, but, no, I just want to get the serious stuff out of the way, man. I want to have fun at the end, dog. Like, come on.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I've dealt with this stuff before. It was honestly the reason why I decided to move out of my family's house, just because of the fact that like my mom and like when she was like dating her boyfriend, this motherfucker was narcissistic to the T. And like he just said a lot of stupid shit. Like there's an example I remember he was talking about. He got upset because I was talking about climate change and stuff like that, and I was like saying one of the things that we need to worry about is the oceans getting hotter and bleaching the coral. This motherfucker was like, yeah, the world will fix itself. It will fix itself, so don't worry about it. Don't try to fix it because you're not going to make a difference. And I was like, motherfucker, like, yeah, I asked my mom too, and the thing is though, it's just like one thing I notice, especially when it comes to parents, and it's like people who are parents who are like dating, is that if they put their relationship over their children, it affects the entire family dynamic, and it causes this entire rift because the fact that it changes the whole family dynamic because of the fact that, you know, the kids are important, and I get that like the parent wants a relationship, but in my personal opinion, it's just like if you had kids before the relationship, you know, the kids have to be like honestly number one in my opinion.
No, that's facts.
Just because of the fact that it's like, you know, someone comes around and then they're like, they have like this complete like change, because what I expected, at least when my mom was in this relationship, because this dude promised the fucking world essentially, because he was like, yeah, I want to make sure like I get anything everyone wants and all this stuff like that. And, you know, from what I noticed, the family was broke most of the time. It was weird because of the fact that we were like never going out anywhere, and he was like, oh, we don't have any gas. And then when the times we actually had, like, I went to go get gas for everyone because I was working, because I wanted to do something. I'm like, hey, let's go get up and do something. And he's just like, the weather is not nice. I was like, okay, you know what? I see what it is. Like, you pretty much just overpromised like a president and then just underdelivered. Like, that's essentially what you did. And, you know, you gotta, for your own mental health, anyone who's ever going through this, you have to separate yourself. And the sucky thing is, though, is like if it causes your family to suffer, I'm sorry. Like at certain points, you have to step away.
Yeah, you do, and that's not to say you don't love them, even. But it's just like if you're unwilling, you can't force someone to change. That's just the bottom line. That I can definitely also kind of relate to that, because my mom, she was originally married. I've told you guys this story a million times. Joe, we should bleep that out. My ex-stepdad.
Nobody anyway.
Yeah, but like my ex-stepdad, yeah, he was just a weird character, man. Like him and my mom were together for so long, and come to find out he's a cheater and he does all this weird side shit. Like, listen, like you just gotta be aware. Like, I could go on, and I have so many stories of like just how me and my mom were both like the black sheep of his family and stuff. And I just gotta urge people, because I used to be this way too. There's a police sirens in the background, don't mind that. But I have to urge people, like, before I used to think therapy was like a weird thing, like, if you're going to therapy, you have like, you're just nuts. No, bro, people need therapists. Like, you should find one and just divulge all your issues, because it honestly helps. Like, having someone to talk to. Maybe you don't have to talk to them every week. I have mine personally every other week, but it's just nice to have someone to unload on and try to like work your issues out. If you're not even willing to do that, and you're just willing to continue to victimize yourself or just treat others like shit, especially your family, well, that's what's gonna end up pushing people away. Like, it's just funny. I've told you guys this before. My other family, besides my like mom, they always call me or whatever and ask, well, how come you never call us and talk to us that often? It's like, if I told you the real reason, like, you probably won't be happy. So I just come up with another reason, because I'm just nice like that. But my actions should show you why that is, because like, if I'm trying to be distant, there's a reason. I have to protect my peace. Like, I want nothing to do with all the negativity and all the stuff that you bring around me. Like, I just want nothing to do with that. So, you know what I'm saying? Especially because I just want to say, seeing your mom break down or anything like that, because like, that's like someone you idolize, you look up to, you've seen strength from. Seeing someone like that break down and crying and upset and hurt, it's not a good feeling. It's not. And I've seen that way too many times dealing with like family matters. So yeah, I guess we can leave that there. That was a pretty serious talk there, but I thought it was necessary to have, because I know there's a lot of people that deal with stuff like that.
Gonna be a lot of beats, but all right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
What's up with the music? What's up with Kid Cudi though?
Yeah. Oh man, you guys should listen. I told you guys the day it came out. You niggas never. I remember. I tried to put you guys onto this, man, but
I listened to Kid Cudi. I listened to his second most recent album. Like the one
Passion
2016.
Yeah, Passion, Pain, Demons. Okay, so I'll give you credit.
I listened to it.
I just wanted to give a quick review on it, because like, I just gotta quickly say too, like, I was looking at like reviews and stuff and things like that. I just feel like this dude is underrated, man. Like, I don't think people realize like how much impact he actually had on current music today. Especially like, you go back and you think of artists like Kanye, right, who actually helped put him on. But I don't think a lot of people realize, like, 808s and Heartbreaks, Cudi had a lot of production, and like he actually helped with the writing and stuff. So it's like, again, I just don't feel like he gets that recognition. But regardless though, this album I thought was a great return to form, because his first two albums, Man on the Moon 1 and 2, those were like classics, man. Like, especially the first one, when it first came out, no one was really doing the type of things he was doing, like being vulnerable and like, he has these issues, and it's relatable. Like, it's just this loner stoner guy that has depression and lost his dad, and it's like his family is kind of messed up, and it was cool. But he got more into that on this album, but it's kind of like he always splits it up into these different acts, kind of like a movie almost, because like, he has the first act where he's going through like, the emotions, like the depression, the feeling down and out, and just not sure you want to continue on, and you're just substance abuse and all this other stuff. But then, towards the end of the album, you get to this kind of hopeful place where he just wants to be a better person. And it's just awesome to see like an album like come out, like the third part of it to come out like 10 years later. Because like, there was a moment there, like I saw in an interview recently, he said like, a lot of the albums before this, he was in a miserable place, and he felt like it affected his music, which that I'm sure sucked to be miserable and having to make music and not really being all there. But I say if you're a fan of Kid Cudi and you know what you're signing up for, definitely check it out. I love this album. It's great. I've listened to it a lot, and that's all I gotta say about that. So,
You said it seemed like they had like 4 stages throughout the entire album.
like, not stages, I'd say more so like 3 acts. Like, and he has it set up like that. I forgot the exact one. He has them named. Like on the album art, on the back, he'll have like, this is Act 1, like these 4 or 5 songs. Act 2 is these 4 and 5 songs. Act 3 is these 4 or 5 songs. Like, it's cool. It's kind of like episodic. It's cool. He's done that since Man on the Moon 1, which I think is an interesting way to approach music. It's like just this storytelling aspect. Like you're trying to, put visual constructs in people's minds of like, this is the sound, like sonically, and it's cool because coming off of Man on the Moon 2 and then jumping into this, it's like there was almost like this seamless kind of transition there because like the way that one ended and then this is into this one just from the beginning. It's just like it felt like this cohesive thing. I kind of honestly want to go through 1 through 3 and just have a huge ass listen when I get some time to do that. But
yeah,
yeah,
it reminds me of this song that it's essentially instrumentals. It's basically about like Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff like that. It's called Everywhere at the End of Time. And when you mentioned like the stages, basically it was like there are no vocals in the song, but essentially they took they took instrumentals, and at first it would sound like pretty clear. It'd have like this 1940s sort of Captain America-esque like music going on, like jazz. And then like as the stages progressed, it sounded like a little wonky, and then it just sounded like a bunch of white noise. And I guess the reason why, because I didn't listen to Kid Cudi, the album, because of the fact that, in my opinion, I feel like my mental state reflects my music choice. So like if I'm happy, I listen to like a lot of happy music.
right.
Like, right now, like I feel pretty good. I mean, admittedly, despite all this shit going on in the world, but yeah, no, this song right here, like, or this album right here, basically just had this entire like dark presence to it, and like some people were just like, I can't feel my face, this is so sad, and what? I'm like, I don't understand, because it's just like it's supposed to put you in the perspective of someone with Alzheimer's and like memory loss, and I get that it's sad, but it's just like I can't fully place myself in there. And like someone was like saying, they're like, yeah, by the end, like sometimes you're gonna want to die, and I'm like, from listening to an album about instrumentals, I was like, damn, like I know it's sad, but I don't want to fucking die, like, and I don't know, that's just what it reminded me of.
Yeah. I think I remember you talking about that specific stage song. I'm kind of interested in listening to it because, yeah, it kind of sounds the same towards Man on the Moon 3, honestly.
Granted, it was popular. It became popular because this was made in like 2016 through 2019, and it got made popular this year because of TikTok. So take those reactions with what you will, because a lot of people on social media over exaggerate shit past 11. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that's facts.
I it's just whatever you can't. It's hard for me to describe what like the stages and whatnot of like listening to music, right? Because right now I'm listening to a fuck ton of Fleet Foxes. Like,
And what kind of
like,
music? What kind of music is that? Because I'm
that's
not
like
aware.
their older albums were like folky type of like very instrumental heavy, like no metal rock, no nothing like that. Like very like naturey, earthy is the best I can describe it.
Okay.
Their newer albums, excuse me, are more like modern, but they still have like a lot of percussion, a lot of like rich like guitar sounds and string instruments and stuff like that.
Okay.
But that doesn't like I listen to it and I love that music, but like I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm in the best mental space. You know?
Yeah.
That just goes down to how everyone perceives or listens to things differently, like, and depending on how you want to enjoy something or like what something means to you, you're going to be, you know, you might have a very happy piece of music, something that you listen to when you're sad.
Yeah.
Right,
or like
yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah, it's true. Because I remember we had this talk way back, like when we were all big Kanye fans. Not so much anymore, but I remember we talked about it before. I don't know if you guys remember when, like, we were really into 808s, and we were talking about how, like, that specific
Yeah,
that specific album, how it fetishizes like heartbreak and just sadness and things like that.
I would say it romanticizes.
It romanticizes.
Yeah,
yes,
no,
that's that's what I meant. Yeah, because we were talking about that before, and I don't know why that just made me think of that though.
No, it's real because it's like there are certain points where I want to feel some sort of melancholy, and like I listen to Frank Ocean and I listen to like The Weeknd. The Weeknd is kind of different because it's like I feel like melancholy, but I also feel like I'm gonna be. It doesn't matter because I'm fucked up anyways, and I'm like on drugs or something like that. But anyways, yeah, if I want to feel like melancholy, I listen to that. But like I just remember when like I had and I ended a relationship and I was just like fucked up over it. I was listening to Daniel Caesar and this fucking sad piece of work right here. And it's like, yeah, he's over here just like talking about how people didn't love him back then when he was nobody, and now they love him now, so he's supposed to like treat him differently, and it's just like, okay. And I listen to that all the time. I'm just like, I'm never gonna find love again. Like,
oh man,
it's just a bad cycle that I just don't like to do. And I know for Kid Cudi, if there was ever a point where I'm just like, you know what, I want to feel a different emotion other than happiness, I'll listen to Kid Cudi. I feel like those charms to music.
Yeah, you have to think about how like Cudi's albums are made, and specifically Man on the Moon albums. Like those are not his happy albums. Like that's
they're definitely not like it. There's a lot
going through shit, and I wrote it into a song.
Yeah. Like I said though, like I can't say like the last act of it is really just like this hopeful, like he's in a better place and he has these tools to help fight this war that he has within himself, like all these problems and issues. And I think it's cool just to see someone have that kind of introspection, like, and just be able to be so transparent with their issues and like not try to be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. You know, it's just different. It's cool to see it when artists can be open about what they're dealing with and how they try to deal with those issues, whether it's healthy or unhealthy, you know. So yeah. That's a pretty good talk there, guys. Shit, I enjoyed that. So,
okay, but now on a spicy news.
Yeah. So, what do you?
We got punked. We got fucking punked.
Yeah.
We got punked, all right.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about CyberPunk. Like, yeah. If you guys want to start off, it's just there's a lot here. So
I think that what would be best to start out with, which I don't know if you guys have any references because I sure as hell don't, but CyberPunk having probably one of the worst releases in a video game in the past like 15 years, to the point where it gets removed off the PlayStation Store. I don't know about you guys. I have never seen a game get removed off the PlayStation Store for a bad launch, like ever.
No, I
haven't.
The
first one. Like the only one, and it hasn't happened on PlayStation specifically, but I know that there are games that were bad and it was removed off the Steam stores.
Yeah.
Like that whole situation is just fucking wild. Like
it is.
imagine a game that's being worked on for technically 13 years, which I don't even think that was made for 13 years. I think in 2013, or 13 years, 7 years, I think that they had this concept. They had like some cinematics and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have something revolutionary." And at some point in their development, they stopped innovating in like perhaps 2015 because
So it's funny that you bring that up because me and Kai were talking about it before you got on the call. Like, how I view it is that literally it was announced in 2013, and this like next gen consoles released this year in 2020. That's 7 years. So they announced it in 2013 when they only had PCs and last gen consoles. Like, I don't even think the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One S were out back then.
no,
So they only had base last gen consoles. So like they must have had something. They were developing the game. They had a foundation for the game on last gen consoles. And then somewhere along the line, publisher decision or executive decision within the company, like something must have happened to where now they scrap what they had, that foundation, because like the decision came through, hey, next gen consoles are on the horizon. We have to make a next gen game, not a last gen game.
Right.
So like they must have like mid development, like I don't know how much completion wise, but they must have scrapped what they had and start over. And there's games like that have done that in the past. Destiny,
yeah,
Anthem. Like when you
No
do
Man's
shit
Sky.
like that,
No Man's Sky
when you
too.
do
Yeah.
shit like that, it never works. And I don't understand the philosophy of like game companies like taking progress and just being like, oh, fuck it, we can redo all this in like a year and a half.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was like
man.
the way I see it, I felt like it was like a Jenga puzzle where they're just like, okay, we got the game almost done. Because in my opinion, I feel like the game could have came out in 2018, but the fact that ray tracing was being talked about, they were like, nope, pull it back in, and they were focusing a lot on graphic fidelity and
That's funny.
just the ray tracing and stuff like that. They're just like, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and do all these things right here, and it should work out. Oh, wait a second, you're getting 15 frames per second? You 10? Okay, no, we're gonna delay it until December 10th. But the thing is, though, is that now that you have this virus and the fact that video games are like the top selling things on the market currently, CD Projekt Red, the execs, wanted to get the holiday money back, and they honestly they have within a week shot themselves in the foot with the with the Blunderbuss, and their reputation is gone.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's unfortunate, man. We've seen this time and time again. Again, me and Widdy, like he was saying, we had a conversation before we started recording. There's been a track record of these companies where they just put out these products, and now you have to side eye everything they do. You could put BioWare on that list. You could put Bethesda on that list. You could put Rockstar on that list. You could put Naughty Dog on that list for other reasons, obviously, not more so the game.
Oh no,
but,
I'll get to that too.
Yeah,
this is tied to Cyberpunk because just the whole thing was just getting on my nerves because gaming journalism. I was looking at it, and we all know how bad gaming journalism is.
Yep.
None of these people play games at all. Like I feel like they get into gaming journalism because it's the easiest thing to get into, and then they just like when they get the chance, they can move on to CNN or like whatever. But it's just fucking dumb. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't have it all in this game. People were complaining about how it's over sexualized in a fictional fucking universe that doesn't represent you at all. Like, no one in this world has cybernetics in their body. And they're talking about, why are you sexualizing women and men? Oh, they're mostly women, because, of, like, Gamergate and stuff like that. But, like, why are you sexualizing women? They are sexualized, yeah, but it's in this fictional world where the marketing and the consumerism is directed towards hypersexualization.
Right.
And that's all I see in these articles. Why you shouldn't be hyped for Cyberpunk. I agree with the idea that it shouldn't be overhyped because we got bamboozled. But I mean the fact that like they're saying, oh, we shouldn't like this game because of the fact that like it shows too much skin on women or like it's showing the guys' dicks because I guess we live in the 1800s where we would wear buckle hats and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's annoying.
It is. And there's plenty of examples of that shit too. We've talked about this before.
I don't want to get into like the Naughty Dog thing because we literally talked that thing to death. But
Yeah,
it's
we
just
have.
like when I look at the whole thing, I'm just like, you know, G4 TV came out, and then that was like the skeleton for gaming journalism, and they did such a good job because of the fact that they told game news in an objective point of view, where they're like, yeah, this is cool right here. I can imagine there's going to be some negative opinions about this, but we're not going to be the ones giving those opinions because we're here to deliver news, not opinions.
Right.
And you know, just I don't know, it's really frustrating.
I feel like early YouTube. So one of the points you made, like in your when you knocked it, is like how YouTube, how a lot of gaming journalism has moved to YouTube in the form of video formats and like, or like quick rundowns of like what happened this week.
Yeah.
And I feel like early YouTube stuff, like Machinima, what were the other ones? I think it was really only Machinima that covered like gaming news, but like that was a thing that was formed in Los Angeles way back in the early beginnings of YouTube that was like founded by gamers, and those people actually played their games.
Yeah.
And now you have shit like Kotaku and Polygon,
God.
and I don't feel like I hardly feel like those people actually play the game.
All access media
vice versa,
sites
play the game in the way that like 90% of the populace plays it. You know, like
you read the PlayStation 5 review for Kotaku and how just ridiculous that was. Like, trying to guilt people for getting a PlayStation 5 because they're like, yeah, I can't see, because this is what the person said. They're like, I can't imagine wanting to play a PlayStation 5 because 25,000 people died of coronavirus. What the fuck does that have to do with the review? And they try to guilt trip the people who like wanted to spend their own money on a console and be like, well, if you get this game, I just hope you to know that 25,000 people did get a chance to play it. And I'm like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's the real thing, man. They just...
Here's another example.
Yeah.
When Spider-Man Miles Morales came out, right?
Yep, I was about to bring that up. Yep.
Black Spider-Man, you know, he's in a Black Latino community and stuff like that. His dad was a cop. His mom is running for Congress in this game, or like a political position. And some of these people, and I think it was in Kotaku or it was in some other one, but they're like, why doesn't Miles Morales hate cops? He is black. He should hate cops. What they're doing to us in real life should reflect on Miles Morales himself. His dad was a cop. We are not, as black people, we are not a monolith. And the one thing that I hate from these things, from like gaming journalists, is that they make themselves seem racist themselves.
It's fake woke.
Yeah, no, that's all it is.
It's literally the idea of like, well, I'm gonna post, I hate cops, and then I'm gonna get good reviews and like tons of views.
Yeah, no, that's all it is, and that's all it ever will be. And we've had this talk plenty of times, not even just on here, but just gaming as a whole, and then not even just gaming. This type of shit is starting to affect like movies and comics and just stories in general and entertainment mediums, and it really sucks. Like just last week we talked about that whole what was it, that I'm Not Starfire story thing, right?
Oh,
where it's just like,
did you hear about that, or did you see that?
Widdy.
I don't think I did.
So
essentially what it was, you want to explain it?
No, you can go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, essentially what it was is this self-insert from the writer, because it was a story about this Starfire's teenage daughter basically hating her mom, and she just somehow looks completely different, because mind you, people have this whole belief that, you know, superheroes should have realistic bodies outside the fact that they punch people's heads in as a career, and they're like abnormally jacked. But anyways, so Starfire had a daughter, and she's like this overweight, like goth chick, and she's like, I hate my mom because of the fact that she's like this popular superhero, don't know where her dad is because Dick Grayson isn't the thing. So it leads you to think that maybe Starfire fucked the Penguin because of the way she looks. But anyways, she's like, I don't like her. I'm going through some shit because I left my SAT test. That's like the biggest premise of like her conflict. But I also like this girl in my class. And if you see what the character looks like and the writer, you're like, okay, she's basically explaining, oh, I hate my parents because of the fact that I had this different point of view and they never understood me. So here I am now and I want my revenge. That's basically what it is.
And it's like I said last week too, and I'll keep saying this. Why you had to put this as a way to like get shine on the story? Why do you feel the need to have to use characters such as like known characters like Starfire or anyone else that just to push this kind of narrative and push your own kind of like agenda out here? I just don't understand. Is it because you know that if you just did this as some teenage drama bullshit, you're not going to get any clicks? I guess so, but
tokenism.
Well,
yeah,
and it's also if they do it as what a regular teenager would look like, then it's like the normal people who play the game are like, oh, you've offended me.
Yeah, no, Widdy, you don't know. We've talked about some of this stuff before. Like, I don't remember what episode it was. I think it was either 3, where we were talking about Assassin's Creed, right? And there was this thing that had happened where someone had called Ubisoft out because apparently the description of a character was considered ableist.
Ableist language.
And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, why are you... I
feel like literally white people started learning some new terms and now it's gone out of hand.
I also think that when people on Twitter just realize that history is not nice, never has been, never been sugarcoated, and they want to like change the game that's based off of history and sugarcoated to be like, yeah, like they were kind to these people who were disenfranchised, and it's, I don't know, that's a whole thing. Anyone who's watching, if you want to find out what that is, basically watch episode 3 and enjoy.
Okay, so cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah, we kind of got off a tangent, but it's cool. We can get back to it.
It was a side conversation.
Yeah, that's fine. Cyberpunk.
Go ahead, Widdy, take off.
Yeah.
Dude, I understand the backlash. Like the people who bought it on like base PlayStation and base Xbox consoles, like they should not have received what they have.
Yeah, even on the Pro, I have
a
bunch of issues, dude.
It's unacceptable. Leading up. So you know how like early reviewers got a hold of the game like 5 days early and whatnot.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red only put out early reviews for PC only, like people who play on PC. Yeah. Literally, reviewers were talking about how they would try to ask for like console access keys and they would just get denied. And my friend that I have, like he pre-ordered the collector's edition for PlayStation. No. So he likes playing it. He likes playing single-player focused games on console. Like that's his preference. So he bought the collector's edition because he was also excited for CyberPunk. And he was getting worried because no one was allowed early access reviews for consoles, only PC. And the early access reviews are talking about like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty not that many bugs, not that many issues because it's fucking PC.
Right.
And finally launch day comes out, but his collector's edition was gotten delayed from GameStop.
Okay.
Or no, he fucking got it from EB Games. He's Canadian.
Okay.
And turns out the reason why they didn't give any early access to console players was because the console port doesn't exist. It's not actually a port. It's literally just it's like a Nintendo 64 game put on a console.
That's exactly what it is.
And he literally like the day after, like people started posting like what the PlayStation version looks like. He was like, "Yep, I'm calling EB and I'm canceling my order. Like this is ridiculous."
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he got it through, but like just the fact, dude. Like they went through all the marketing. Like Cyberpunk is gonna be fucking revolutionary game. It's finally coming out. It's finally here. No more delays. Like, oh yeah, and you don't get to see what it performs on console until launch day. Oh, by the way, we just kind of forgotten about last gen.
Yeah. No, and then the people who put out the reviews, they couldn't show any gameplay.
Oh,
too.
dude, that was the biggest red flag for me.
Yeah. Anything like honestly, that's just like I was like a yikes. And then just the whole thing with the pre-order, the refunds too.
Yeah.
That was one thing I was just like, oh, what are you doing, CD Projekt Red? Because like I'm recently just like a CD Projekt Red fan because I played Witcher 3 late. I didn't finish it because of the fact that it's so much, it's like overwhelming where I have to play it in like small bits and I expected, you know, Cyberpunk to have the same thing, have the same level of complexity, but it's not even like that. And Cyberpunk was like, oh yeah, so we're apologizing. Here's a little red screen or a yellow screen. Our apologies. Yeah, Sony and Microsoft will hand you the refunds on our behalf. And you know, Sony is the most stingy, like greedy motherfuckers ever. And they're like, yeah, no, what the fuck are you doing, CD Projekt Red?
Yeah, like I remember the first day, like when they announced that they were doing refunds, and then people would go to the Xbox and PlayStation stores to get refunds, and Sony was like, we're not doing that.
Yeah. Please understand. There's no refunds.
They've fixed it now, so Sony is finally giving refunds.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like 2 days.
Microsoft is too, by the way. So,
yeah. The first 2 days, they were just like, we have no idea what you are talking about. We're not doing refunds. Because CD Projekt Red literally just came out and was like, please go to your, like, wherever you bought it from and ask for a refund. And, like, they weren't prepared for that. Like, this was not...
No. It's like trying to douse a house fire with, like...
grease.
A water gun.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Grease.
I should have said an oil fire with the water gun, because, yeah, it was just ridiculous.
I have no doubt that CD Projekt Red in a year or maybe year and a half, the game is probably going to be at what they want the game to be. But
which reminds me of No Man's Sky.
Because there's a lot of things that are just outdated. Like the most frustrating things, and I guess we haven't really got into it on mic, but it's just like the mechanics just suck. Like the cops have instant transmission. They teleport to you. Like their RFID chips are activated, and they just find you no matter what. Like let me put in a scenario, because this is how I usually get in trouble with the law. I'm driving on my soapy car from SpongeBob, right? And I'm trying to whip that shit around the corner, and my whole car just spins out. I hit a couple people. Oh no, I have a warrant for my arrest. So out of nowhere, 3 seconds later, a drone and 2 cops start shooting at me. Oh, make it worse too. The cop said, "Put your fucking hands up." I went up, and the car did too.
You're like, there's the mechanics are bad. It feels like a shell of what they'd promised. Like I remember people have been bringing up CD Projekt Red coming out with a statement saying that like, oh, we're going to have an in-depth like law system. Like if you kill a lot of civilians, there'll be like bounty hunters that'll come out and track you down, and like the worse it gets, like the stronger the people who are hunting you are. And it's like,
that was a lie.
Where's
that was a lie.
The whole thing had mercenaries, and not one merc went to go and get you.
Yeah, like where's like my in-depth character customization? Why can't I like modify my character? Like you could in Cyberpunk, like in the world, you can go and get your whole face fucking taken out and get a whole new one, like get metallic face. Why can't I go and do that? Where's
there's like no third person, which makes me feel glad that there's no third person, because I can imagine how bad that would be.
Yeah, but like you can't modify your character anymore after character creation. You can't even modify your car. Like the car modification is that you go out and buy a new car, which is a fucking quest.
Yeah.
Like what?
And it's like an achievement. Buy all the cars, store them. I don't know. I don't know where, but it's in your possession.
Like what?
Did I tell you that they cut out? When spoiler alert, I guess not really. When the main character meets Jackie, they have this montage. Those are actual missions. They cut that. They put it in a little montage.
That's another thing that made me mad.
Such
By the way,
garbage.
it's probably an important thing to say. Like this, like if you haven't played the game and you don't want spoilers, you should probably not listen to this because all of us have played it. I've beaten it.
Yeah.
But like we won't. Maybe something will slip out that might spoil you on it, so you don't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
But,
I won't talk about the story just because of the fact that like that's the only thing that saves it. And I have to say, just like objectively, CD Projekt Red does a good job at writing. Like the only thing that's keeping me there is how well written the characters are and how organic they are. That's the only thing. The story's fine. It's just the mechanics.
Yeah.
Like the mechanics just suck. Like there's one perk that Kai Beam got where it was like wall perch. It doesn't even tell you how to do it.
Yeah, like I just listen. It's like I've heard other people say. This game is a love-hate relationship. Like every time I try to turn my brain off and get immersed in this game, and sometimes it's successful in getting me there, there's some stupid ass glitch or bug or graphical issue that just tosses me out of it, or design choices that I'm just like, why did you do that? Again, like he just said, I bought this perk where it said I can neutralize someone from like a high vantage point and get perched, and it doesn't tell me how to do it. So I have no idea how to use that upgrade. As a matter of fact, I had this bug yesterday, and it fucking pissed me off. So there's these races you can do with a character named Claire. I got on the last part of this shit, and the mission is Claire wants to kill this guy that killed her husband or whatever in the race that she had previously. So you follow this dude off of the fucking highway exit. What happened was, like Gamdo said before, the fucking driving is garbage. So my car kind of spun in this small spot, and it just got stuck. Like, it just got stuck. I couldn't get out. And then, like, when I got it to tilt a certain way, the accelerator didn't work. I couldn't get out my car. The acceleration didn't work. I was just fucking stuck there. And I was just like, are you... So I fucking reload this shit. And what happens? I get to that part again, and what does the game do? It fucking crashes. You know what I did at that point? I was just like, beep, and I just went to watching Breaking Bad. That's exactly what I did. And then I came back... And funny thing is, I came back like a couple hours later to do it. This shit glitched out on me again. But somehow I got it to fucking work. I'm following the dude, and he gets into a car crash. The fucking car goes off into some other weird place, and it's like, follow the car. And it's like, I'm right behind it. I turn around and go to a different spot. The car just disappears there. It's like, oh, approach the guy. I was like, he was just... You know what? Yeah, whatever. As long as the mission's over, fuck it.
It's really game breaking, and like the worst thing, like I have like, let me give you my top at least 5 worst things that I experienced. Like the waypoint system and the GPS is worse than Google Maps and Apple Maps, all those things combined, because there are certain points, and I get it, because there's leveling in this world where like you have to go down a certain area, but when I am like 112 or 150 millimeters away from the thing, why is the map telling me to go left instead of right? Yeah. So I'm like following it, and it's taking me longer to actually get there in the first place where I can actually parkour. And speaking of parkour, I have a firm belief, and I could have swore there was gameplay where the character was like climbing on the walls.
Yep.
I'm not sure if
you guys
noticed, but
there
are certain parts in the map that look like that can be scaled with mantis blades or gorilla arms, whatever.
Yeah, no, you were definitely right, because I definitely remember a gameplay segment like maybe a year or two ago where they literally showed their character was climbing on a wall. She turned around and fucking pounced on someone. So that's why I was just like, where's that feature?
Yeah.
Fucking gone.
The other thing was the combat. I don't know why in the world that... Like, I honestly don't like first-person combat just because of the fact that, like,
Yeah, it's not.
You don't have the fluidity. Like
Yeah,
they try
it's
to
not
have this
there.
Batman-esque thing where it's like, oh, if you time it right and you block and you counterattack, like you can do all this stuff right here, but it's broken. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
fluidity.
The first person melee combat is god awful. Coming from Destiny, Bungie, some of the best gunplay makers in the industry, and then trying to shoot a gun in Cyberpunk, and like I can't know what my recoil. Like it's one of the worst gunplay feels I have felt in a modern video game in a very long time.
It makes me appreciate Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, it does. Like, I know, and I remember seeing, I think there was an article I had read, before the game had came out, and they were talking about the gunplay specifically, and how clunky it is at first, but when you get specific upgrades, they help with your recoil, but it's just like, why do I have to get upgrades? Why didn't you make the system more just, like, easier?
Like refined?
Refined.
Why do I have to put in a mod on my gun to eliminate vertical recoil? Like,
yeah,
it's outdated.
I had this vision in this game because I saw, like, when this game started showing gameplay, I immediately thought of Battle Angel Alita, and I love that movie just because of the fact that, like, I'm a fan of steampunk and cyberpunk genres and just the entire world because it's very complex, and honestly, that's kind of what's the only thing that's keeping me there, because there are some elements from that movie that you can kind of do, like the parkouring there. Thankfully, like they should honestly just like took some aspects from Dishonored. Seriously,
there's a lot of games they could take.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot that you can do, and honestly, it makes me wish that there was another GTA, even though I told Kai Beam, I said I never want them to make another GTA again because it's only going to be strictly multiplayer focused. But no, it's a headache. It's a headache. This is the worst game to have come out in the past decade. Like,
and it's so disappointing because it's just like what could have been every fucking time, and it's just, as I said before, it just sucks that I have to side-eye everything you do now because you just released such a shitty product that it's hard for me to be even fucking remotely excited, like, for anything. I have to, like, watch it, like, just to see how it does, at the very least, before I even... Pre-ordering, you should just not even do it. Like, you should just wait.
Yeah, well, like, you have... They're trying to recollect my thoughts and everything, like... You remember the previous delay for Cyberpunk? Like, I think it was supposed to come out sometime in summer, like June, and then they delayed it until like the November release date, which actually happened. Do you remember how upset people were that it got delayed like the 7th time?
Right, yeah.
Like how people were just like, this game's never coming out, this game, like, it's a fucking joke, blah blah blah. I think that Cyberpunk needed another like 2 years of a delay. Like,
I think so. That's exactly what I was saying.
I honestly think the same thing too.
I feel like what they should have done is say, once we got to this year, even as shitty as a year as this has been, once we got to this year and they realized, yeah, we're just not done. All you had to do, fuck what those people upstarts say, like, when is the game coming out? Why do you keep delaying it? Fuck those people. Nigga, if you need 2 years or a year, if you say this shit is not coming out till 2022, that's just what it is. I want the game to fucking function. I don't want to have to play this broken mess for you to fucking have to, like, patch this shit months on end for it to be even playable. Like, that is garbage. It's garbage.
Yeah. And
it's trash.
And I feel like they're gonna make that little cut content real quick. I feel like they're gonna make that cut content like DLC too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Definitely.
What you were mentioning about the Jackie stuff, like, I am so upset that, because Jackie was all that you, like, when the advertisements for the game, like, all had Jackie in it. Jackie this. You play with Jackie, and spoiler alert, the dude fucking dies. If you speed run the main story mission, he dies literally, like, probably 20-30 minutes after you first, like, encounter him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
the main story missions, like, they're really good. They're really good, but you can beat the game in fucking 3 hours if you just follow the main story missions.
God.
3 hours worth of fucking main story.
Yeah.
That is
Like-
such trash, and that's why there's so many side missions. That makes sense. They've had to pad it out. That makes
No, but
completely
that's not-
sense.
The problem is that instead of giving the main missions like more fleshed out like access and like extending it longer, they were like, well, you guys just have to go and play side missions and interact with all these other characters, and then that's how you get more endings, and that's how you get like a deeper meaning off the ending. And it's like, that's not how that shit works. Like, they don't have any actual decision making over the ending at all. Like,
Nope.
I feel like my decisions mean jack shit. The choices that I make in dialogue options mean fucking nothing.
And it's no
Like-
different from which life path you choose, anyways.
Nope,
Like,
that's another thing I was going to bring up. Like, it really doesn't matter what you choose because in each one, you're always going to be best friends with Jackie. Maybe you start off as enemies or whatever, but they play the same montage. You play with the same fucking side characters. Everything you do, it doesn't matter. That's disappointing. It's disappointing. I have no
just
idea.
Can't,
why they did that.
I don't know what style they were going for, but coming from The Witcher 3, where it takes you like at least 100 hours to complete the main story, and then to this, where if you just want the main story bit, you're done in 3 hours. Like, fuck off, dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
and
did
also,
not wait 7 years, pay $60 for me to be done with this game in 3 hours.
Widdy, I don't know if you know this, but Gomville told me this. When you beat the game, it doesn't reset you like to like go back and do all that stuff either. You're just done. Just start a new game over and play it again. Why the fuck would I do that?
Yeah, so
Why would I do
well,
that?
no. So when you beat the game, you get sent back before the final mission.
Okay. Oh,
Because
okay.
you get the final mission's kind of like one of those things where it's like you can't go back to free roam. Like, this final mission is it. Like once you do this mission and you go up here, like the epilogue and stuff starts playing.
Oh, okay.
So when you beat the game, you get sent back right before you start it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought there
Well,
wasn't an
But
issue.
no,
with-
that's still stupid though.
That
That's
sucks because then-
that's still really dumb.
Depending on the ending
Yeah.
you get, well, you don't get to play out like after the ending. Like, you don't
Right,
get to see
yeah,
how
that's
the world
true.
changed after the ending. Like, it's so bad, dude.
Yeah, that. You know what this kind of reminds me of, just lightly, maybe not in the same vein. It kind of reminds me of Mass Effect 3. Do you remember that when it first came out?
I do.
And the fucking endings were just basically color swaps.
Like, yeah, the ending for Mass Effect didn't leave you with like any actual, like, the choices you made throughout the series didn't actually have an impact. I get that,
Right.
but the substance that you had playing Mass Effect 3, like the story
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
everything leading up to it, made me playing the game worthwhile.
Yeah, that's the one difference
I don't
here.
feel
I agree.
that with Cyberpunk. Like, I literally feel like the way that I'm playing the game currently is just like, it doesn't matter. It literally nothing matters.
It's like if Johnny Silverhand took over the entire time.
Like, dude, what's
Yeah.
your Misty gives you the fucking Omega blockers or the like ones to speed up the process. You don't even use the damn thing at all.
I know.
Yeah.
Actual inventory.
Yeah,
He takes it when the plot demands. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep. That's the one thing I noticed too. It's so stupid. Why isn't there an ending where I just like fuck this shit and just kill myself? Like, that should be.
overdose.
Yeah, yeah. Just why not?
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! During the final mission, you can, but only during the final mission.
Oh my god! Wow.
I'm done with this game. You guys ready to talk about Disney?
Right? I hope you learn. I hope the employees like get some new directors or something. I feel bad for the employees, like the actual people who worked on the game. Like, damn, dude.
They get death threats. Like,
Yeah, and they don't deserve it. They don't deserve that.
No, it's
At
the
all.
people who it's the like
Corporate.
directors.
Yeah, it's the
Oh, and
corporate
turns
people.
out that the publisher for CD Projekt Red is CD Projekt. So it was the company that forced these shit like
Ah.
on the develop like
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh wee, man.
A game about exploiting corporations exploiting the workers, and they try to get the actual developers like over crunch time.
Yeah. I also just wanted to
die a hero or see yourself or live long enough to become the villain.
That's the truest quote ever. I just also wanted to let people know. Yeah, because I'm seeing this right here. Your saves will be corrupted and unrecoverable if they get to 8 megabits in size. So if you're planning on still playing this garbage, like I am, because for some reason I just feel the need, like maybe it's because Gollum just said, there's nothing else to play. I play Assassin's Creed when I can, but for some reason I'm just drawn to this game as shitty as it is. Just make sure your fucking saves don't get to a specific amount of data before you lose your shit.
You have to avoid like a lot of crafting and storing. You have to avoid like stashing, like hoarding shit.
Yeah.
If you're doing the money glitch, I'm not sure if this affects the crafting, but I did.
Gomgo, there's a secret with that too. By the way, Izzy showed me. You can duplicate that painting. I have like 100 of it. I just go to a fucking ATM, sell like 5 of them, and get like just max ATM. It's actually.
I had a feeling you could duplicate it.
Yeah, you can. It's great.
No. My last thing that I wanted to say is that if you're planning on doing the glitch, don't do more than 500,000, because at some point, I kid you not, like this is the weirdest thing. When you do the glitch and you get to like 2,500,000 or 250,000, V starts to have a headache. He starts to experience the relic glitch in his head, and he's like crying in pain that he's receiving money. What the fuck is going on with him? Is he like allergic to? Is he allergic to the band, like the bread? Like what is going on? Like, no, like every time like I got to 400,000, and like my screen was shaking. He was like DJ Khaled suffering from success. He was like, oh shit, my head. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah, dude, it's get your refunds if you can.
Yeah, honestly, I would. I haven't finished it yet. I don't know if I'm gonna get my refund after I'm done. I might just do it. I mean, am I gonna play this shit beyond one playthrough? I don't even know. I have 2 characters. I don't feel motivated, I think, to even go through that shit again with the other life path. Why would I do that if it has no other bearing, no other choices, nothing different besides my life story that I start off in the fucking desert somewhere or in the city? What does it matter?
I might just play Valhalla again. I don't know, but we kind of talked this thing down.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Disney announced a fuck ton of stuff, like, and I mean like a lot of things. So one of the biggest things that they were talking about with Marvel and Star Wars specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some more information, like Spider-Man, because I say that 3 times because there's 3 of them. Literally, the Amazing Spider-Man, like characters,
Andrew
Garfield and
Tobey
Watson.
Maguire.
Is Emma Watson?
I don't know. I think they said she might. I don't know who said it, but I think I heard someone say like that she might actually be pregnant, so they don't know if she's gonna come back. Or
yeah,
not.
I told you she was pregnant, so it's a possibility she might not. But Sam Raimi, basically all these people are coming back, and it's like this giant sort of into the multiverse kind of Spider-Man thing, which it makes me really excited. John Watts has done such a good job so far with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And, Avi Arad hasn't had his greasy ass fingers over the entire product. That's basically why the Sam Raimi Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man failed, because he believed that Spider-Man was the most popular thing ever, and he felt like it did not deserve a crossover with the Avengers and all the other stuff. And he loved Venom. So there's that. Star Wars had a bunch of shows that they announced. Mandalorian had a bunch of spin-offs like Ahsoka, Rangers, or is it like Rangers of the Squadron or something like that?
Yeah, like I forgot the exact name, but yeah, it's like I think those are the only 2. And then I don't know, no one knows because of the end credit scene from this week's finale, The Mandalorian, whether or not the next season of Mandalorian is going to be centered around Boba Fett or not, or if that's going to be his own thing. But okay, so
yeah, that's his own show. That's the other thing too. So there's that. There's Ahsoka. I have the actual full list because for some reason I didn't include it in the notes. But yeah, it's Bad Batch, The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic, Andor. I don't know who that is. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show with Ian McGregor and Hayden Christensen is coming back too.
Mhm.
So all these things are good. So much where I can't even count because it's at least like 8.
yeah,
At
and
least 8 different shows.
I wanted to touch back on the Spider-Man thing because I'm really excited because like just to get more in depth with who they announced that's coming back for sure. You have Alfred Molina who's played Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 2. He's coming back. You have Charlie Cox, which fuck, I'm so glad they brought him back because he's a great Daredevil. He's gonna be in there. We don't know his like the extent of his role yet, you know. So it's gonna be interesting. And speaking of which in the same vein kind of falls with Spider-Man, the director of it, John Watts, he's going to be directing Fantastic Four. There could be some significance there because perhaps Spider-Man's going to appear in there. We have no idea, but he just might. And that could be cool. That could be cool.
The Human Torch and Spider-Man are friends in the comics, so
right.
It could be a thing, and you know, especially when he's like in college too. Like they're really good friends.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Also, I wanted to say we finally got confirmation that Christian Bale, he's going to be Gore the God Butcher in Thor 4. I'm so excited for that. I've listened to the Gore the God Butcher like run with from Comics Explained on YouTube with Thor, and like those stories are fucking awesome. So I can't wait to see how they portray that and just like the Necros. You know, that's cool because the all black Necro sword is pretty much a symbiote, so I wonder if that's the way they're going to get symbiotes in the MCU. I don't know, or just like some sort of Easter egg. I don't know. So it'll be cool to see how that plays out. But also I have here, in terms of movies, Patty Jenkins, the person who directs Wonder Woman, she's making her own Star Wars film, Star Wars Squadron. So, yeah, that could be cool, I guess. I mean, I don't know if
Kevin Feige is also making, I just saw that too. Kevin Feige is going to make his own movie, and Taika Waititi.
Oh,
I have
okay.
faith in Taika Waititi.
I do too. He's a great director. He's
Feige.
He's the reason that Thor 3 was so good. Taika Waititi. I mean, like he revitalized the Thor movies because recently, I think earlier this year, I went on a Marvel binge, and I gotta say, the earlier Marvel movies not so good. Like they're pretty bare bones, especially the Thor films. But once Taika Waititi got in there, yeah, Thor 3 was awesome. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Kevin Feige and Taika Waititi projects, definitely, when it comes to.
I was gonna say between the both of y'all, what shows are you looking forward to, if any, if there are any, Marvel and Star Wars?
I'm interested in the Boba Fett show. I really like the Mandalorian, and I'm kind of interested in like where the Mandalorian is going to go because of this finale. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen it, just sound off.
Oh, hang on, Widdy, did you see? Do you watch Mandalorian?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Yeah. So you know, Grogu has gone off with Luke. So that kind of changes the entire dynamic of the show now. And I guess Mando's new quest is to help Bo-Katan reclaim Mandalore. But then there's still that little tiff they have with the whole Darksaber thing. So I don't know how that's going to... I don't think they're going to fight to the death. I don't think so. I think maybe they'll just have some fight and Mando will throw the fight maybe. And he'll just be like, yeah, here you go, take it. You know what I'm saying? Just to get it over.
I was looking at some things, which mind you, like real quick, that finale was like really big. Like
it was. I didn't expect it to get that big.
People were crying, and like I understand because like I don't know what it was, but just when the single, because actually my reactions were similar. It's just like I didn't shed a tear. I was like oh shit, because like what happened was like they're all fighting, right? And then all of a sudden, a X-wing shows up, and they're like, "Oh, it's the Republic." Like, Cara Dune got like sent like a little message saying, "Hey, we're about to get fucked up by these dark troopers," and it was like an X-wing, and they're like, "Okay, where's the rest?" And it was one, and what ended up happening was like just an onion of unlayering of trying to figure out who this person is, and it just clicks because I'm not gonna lie, like not Ryan Johnson, Dave Filoni and Kevin Feige essentially, or Jon Favreau essentially just brought back Star Wars in that singular moment because what they did was I thought it was Ahsoka because I didn't think it was gonna be Ezra, or Cal Kestis.
I thought it was Cal Kestis for a while there until I saw the black glove and the green lightsaber. Then I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, in that moment when it clicked, everyone was like, oh, fuck, that's Luke Skywalker. Like, that's actual Luke Skywalker. And it was showing this whole thing where it was like, this is what Luke Skywalker was supposed to be in Episode 8. And I love how, because Mark Hamill voiced that part right there. And I know he felt happy because he hated Episode 8.
Yeah.
And he pulled up, I mean, granted, like the deep
The
fake
face,
that
yeah,
was not,
the deep
was not
CGI,
that good, but it was like
yeah.
missing enough to like kind of get you like in like immersed and stuff like that. And like he said it, he was like talent without training is useless. And I was just like, yeah, he basically just shat on that whole sequel trilogy. No, that was a great moment. I have no idea what they're gonna do now. Yeah, like he took Grogu. It's gonna take a while
for him to even come back because I'm assuming his training is gonna be like for years, probably, right?
Yeah,
So,
there's gonna be probably like a time skip, and Mandalorian could probably take a break, and it would probably be that Republic show, Rangers of the Republic.
yeah, but it's like people say the reason why people were confused whether the Boba Fett thing was going to be because the title of the show is just The Mandalorian, so it doesn't mean we have to follow Din Djarin like the entire time. It could literally just switch to Bo-Katan like if it wanted to, because it doesn't. I don't know if it seems like Bo-Katan's going to get her own show or not, but.
I don't think it is. I think it's just going to be Rangers of the Republic, of the New Republic, if they actually end up doing that. Because at one point, I feel like there's just going to be like a huge crossover. Like there's going to be something.
Oh, they confirmed that. They said there's going to be like a huge ass crossover from all these different shows. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see.
I'm really looking forward to Ahsoka Tano just because of the fact that for one, like. I didn't think that they were going to show Luke Skywalker because I just thought like, oh, we're going to keep that away from like the movies and stuff like that because now they have an opportunity to actually have Ahsoka Tano have this dialogue with Luke Skywalker about Anakin.
Yep.
And I get why they had the deepfake because I'm pretty sure they're going to cast Sebastian Stan. But because he was filming Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they couldn't do it.
Yeah,
so
that might be why.
I give them leeway for that. But
yeah, I completely agree. I do hope they get Sebastian Stan because he literally does look like a young Mark Hamill, no lie. So if they do that, that'll be fucking awesome. Hopefully that can get done. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for the Ahsoka show. Once I'm done binging fucking Breaking Bad, because I just want to say I'm currently on a self-quarantine because, and this is the third time this happened, because someone at my workplace has unfortunately tested positive. So I have all the time in the world to just catch up on shit and rewatch shit. So I plan on rewatching Clone Wars, and I never watched Rebels, so I want to do that just so I can get familiar with characters and the current history that's going on in Star Wars, because I'm kind of out of the loop. But I'm a big Star Wars fan, so yeah. But
I have to say, like, I am a huge Star Wars fan. Like, not like to the point where I have like a Death Star, Lego Death Star or anything. It's just like, I don't know. There's something about it, like that moment really made me feel like I was a kid, and I was just like, they did that thing, and I hope it erases the sequels, because
I really do hope that theory or that rumbling that was happening a couple months ago, where they were basically saying that they were, I don't know, it doesn't seem like Kathleen Kennedy's going away, unfortunately, but I do hope that they do that thing they were talking about where they just like say that the sequel movies are just like in some other area, reality or time or some shit and have nothing to do with what's going on now. So, and they just kind of rewrite that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Woody, do you have any thoughts about these shows? I know I'm on a tangent.
Yeah, or just any shows in general. Like, is there anything you're like watching, or have you just been gaming?
I
or anything?
mean, the Spider-Man movie with Andrew Garfield and like all the three main Spider-Mans, I'm really interested to see what that's gonna be like.
Yeah.
Because that could be really fucking good, and I just don't know what it's gonna be like because Tobey Maguire is old as shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do for that dude, but no, I don't. I don't watch a bunch of the like Netflix shows or like television shows because we don't have TV here. I am still watching seasonal anime and rewatching anime like crazy.
Yeah, man, I need to go to you for anime. I need to get back into anime, dude. I kind of fell off. The only thing I read is just One Piece at this point.
If there is ever a time to get back into anime, it's right now because our Lord and Savior, Mappa Studios, is destroying the anime scene.
Okay, shit.
Mappa is currently animating Jujutsu Kaisen, which is really good, like amazing show, and they're animating the final season of Attack on Titan, which is also airing at the moment.
I'm also wanting to get back into Attack on Titan.
I kind of fell out of it.
Art style and animation style that they have.
Oh my god, man! I don't know how they are, because Attack on Titan is only 2 episodes in so far since Mappa started.
Yeah.
But you have to remember they're animating Jujutsu Kaisen at the same time they're animating Attack on Titan, and they just picked up Chainsaw Man to animate.
Yeah.
And they're doing all of this in the middle of COVID restrictions.
Yeah, that's insane.
At home, but it's still just like.
But the quality of it, because other studios are trying to do the same thing, and I'm sad about it because the studio that's doing Haikyuu has really dropped the ball this season. They didn't really come up to the same level of quality as they have previously, and that's most definitely because of COVID.
Right.
But like what Mappa is doing right now with the amount of shows that they're picking up and the quality that they're delivering on, like
fucking it up.
JJK, like Jujutsu Kaisen, is one of you guys would love that show, but it's such a faithful adaptation with like a very unique art style. And Attack on Titan, they pretty much went back to like season 1 Attack on Titan like coloring almost. Like where it's more of a blue tone instead of a brown tone. And it just the animation quality, like the camera angles and everything, like
it looks very faithful to the manga. Like that's what I noticed from
they are killing it.
Yeah.
You know what that makes me sad?
I didn't really like the CG that they had, and I was like, because when I saw season 4, I was like, this looks like a whole new show. Like these motherfuckers are on blimps and looking like they're in World War One, and like the guy, like you said, like the coloring, I was like, holy shit! Like especially like Aaron when he has like his hand over the building and stuff like that, and just oh man.
Yeah, no, it's coming from me who keeps up with the manga, and the manga only has like 3 chapters left before it's done.
Oh wow.
The shit that this season's going to cover. Ooh boy.
Yeah, you know, Widdy, just hearing you talk about all that kind of makes me sad, and I hope it has a revamp, at least in an anime form, is Tokyo Ghoul, man, because fucking anime that was there.
I'm pretty sure Studio Pereira ended, like,
I hope it gets revamped, like, sometime down the line, because I just feel like that just didn't get its proper due, man. Like, it just didn't. And that's such a good series.
I have to say, now that you're here, Widdy, and you're talking about anime, like I really like how a lot of anime shows are starting to change their art style to where it's more fluid. I honestly, I wouldn't say like Shintani from Dragon Ball Super Broly was responsible for it. I mean, he was for like One Piece and stuff like that, but that's because of the same studio. But I'm really liking how a lot of these shows are going with the more simplistic route, and then at some points changing it to where it's like very complex and highly detailed.
Yeah, so I would tribute what is happening with animation now to Kimetsu no Yaiba, specifically episode like I think it was like 19 or 16, where it just was that crazy hyped fight scene that like was movie quality in a TV series.
And I have to say, like, just doing animation, that shit looks difficult.
Oh yeah, for sure. But what a faithful and good anime adaptation does for not only the series, the industry, and the public, like the producers. So like the studio, like if you take Mappa for example, Mappa made Parasite, Yuri on Ice, and
I didn't know that. Parasite, I love Parasite. Parasite's great.
And that was old Mappa. That was old Mappa, and they didn't really have a big following. Like they didn't really have anything stand out. Like Parasite was okay, but it definitely had its like moments.
Yeah,
Yuri.
It was like a regular anime like design.
Yeah, Yuri on Ice had its following, but that's because Tumblr fucking took it and ran with it.
Should you say slid with it? But yeah.
Like it's just that Mappa didn't really have anything, and then all of a sudden Mappa comes up with Doro Hedoro, like a primarily 3D series on Netflix, and the quality of animation and 3D and like music, art, like atmosphere, like it's like what studio is this? And then they announced that they're working on JJK, and JJK is like insane.
And then they did God
insane.
of High School too.
God of High School is
I heard like it's popular just because of the fact that it was like a webtoon comic, but I also heard people were like, it's just.
So the mangas, or the manhwa, excuse me, since it's a webtoon, Korean, it's I've heard it's crazy. I haven't read it personally, but I've heard that the anime takes like the action-packed like craziness and jacks it to 10, where they try to put a bunch of shit into like one episode. I've seen that the animation of it is crazy. Like again, it's like what happened from the studio that did shit like Parasite and Mappa or Yuri on Ice, where it's kind of slower paced, more methodical, like very detailed character designs, like almost 80-esque style, where they're suddenly pumping out shit like JJK, Doro Hedoro, and Attack on Titan, where it's like the fidelity of the stuff that they're producing is tenfold over anything else in the anime industry right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I watch JJK, and I think I'm watching a fucking movie with how good the quality is.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's crazy. And again, like I said, as someone who is attempting to make a career out of... Actually, no, I won't even say like attempting, because like right now I have a commission. I told Beam about it a lot, but like I have a commission where I'm doing like a webisode. And I have like complete total control of the movements and stuff like that to a certain degree, because there is a script, but I look at all the references to some anime, and essentially like with the art style, I actually have the art style based off of the second season of Dragon Ball Super. Like, you know how like the line work is a little like blurred out a little bit, but like the colors are just kind of like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How it looked. And that's basically what I'm doing, because I would love to have it to where it looked like Attack on Titan, because it just looks simplistic yet so detailed. And instead of having to do all this other stuff.
And I think that is literally the thing that studios have trouble with the most, is that they try to either make it so detailed and they can't animate it properly because of all the details and it just looks bad. Yeah. Or they make it simplistic, and it's simplistic to the point where it's like you're leaving out a lot of what, like, especially if it's a manga adaptation. You're leaving out a bunch of like stuff that was in the manga that's actually really important because you made it simple.
Yeah, because they're just trying to get fluidity out of detail. Yeah.
And then you get studios like Mappa who, like, the Doro Hedoro adaptation, like Dorohedoro is the manga was gritty as hell. Like it's very rough lines, a lot of black inking, like rough everything. And the way that the anime took that and like used lighting and darkness and just like dark colors to give you like the atmosphere that they produced for that. To make it to the point where like it almost seems like it's secondhand nature for them to make something that good.
Yeah.
With that much detail, you know, it's just
This is the one that was on Netflix, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that because I first see it. I've never watched it, but I was like looking at it, I was like, holy shit! I was like, look at the
it's Dorohedoro is one of my
background.
favorite mangas. The manga is amazing. Mappa killed it with the anime adaptation. The music is insane. They have like 6 different OPs throughout the 12 episodes.
Good God, manga detail.
I think both of you guys should watch the anime. It's really good. The 3D is a little bit rough in some points, but
yeah.
3D animation has gotten so much better over the years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I definitely need some anime to watch, man. So I want to get back into that.
Well, you heard it first here, folks. Widdy right here giving us the top tier animes to watch right here. I'm definitely gonna watch Dorohedoro.
Yes, sir. So
But yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah, I don't have anything else on my list. If you have anything, Gomdo, I don't know.
Nope, but you mind if I close out?
Yes, sir. You can go ahead and do so.
All right. This has been episode 6 of the Kai Beam podcast. Disney has took over literally everything. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, go ahead and subscribe and give us a like on this video. And stay tuned for more.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for your time. Be safe out there. Peace.